Hey everybody, welcome back to Fangirlz Assemble. Happy Sunday. Good to see you.
It's
hey,
time.
William and James.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I already drank my coffee. I'm kind of bummed. So we're doing things a little bit differently today. Want to give ourselves a little break and just to have a little fun convo.
Yeah.
Talking about what like novels, prose, the written word without pictures. Which of those we wish had comic book adaptations. But before we do that, let's talk about where you buy your comic books. Our lovely sponsor, InStockTrades.com.
What kind of sales do they have?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Because, I mean, you can get regularly. You can get your books up to 50% off, sometimes more. Especially when you got a red tag sale, damages sale, all sorts of sales happening on site. And if you spend at least $50, you'll be in the United States, you get free shipping. And if you can just buy one book, you can do $4 shipping. It's fast, it's secure, it's great. Oh yeah, thank you. Hello and happy Mother's Day to all moms out there. Absolutely.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Guzz Buzz, happy Mother's Day.
Hey, Guzz Buzz.
I texted my mom. That's what I did. Normally I overdo it. I overdo it. I'm a people pleaser and I'm unlearning that. So part of Mother's Day for me is unlearning mommy issues. So working on that.
Love that.
Love that from me. Good morning, Alex. Oh, we should have done our favorite comic book moms.
Actually, if you do want a good Mother's Day video, right after our video today, in about an hour, going live on my channel, The Comic Slayer, it is comics your mom should read.
Aww.
We did a whole video of comics that your mother should read.
Aww.
You, the general you, everybody's.
So. See, I was hoping there would be like an appearance of Mom Comic Slayer.
Oh, we could do that sometime. That would have been
the
cool.
Comic Slayer mom. My mom would not be caught dead being here.
My mom does read comics, and I mentioned my mom in it, and I mentioned Reed's mom. What's great is like we used Reed's mom as kind of inspiration.
Yeah.
We'll go through the story in the video, but basically she bought me a comic book one Christmas and read the whole thing before giving it to me, and that's what inspired the whole thing. So yeah, check that out after this.
Aww. I know it's Mother's Day, but Kristan, you give a killer birthday haul to your dad.
Thank you. It is a good one. It's a good one. I bought him comics. I bought my mom comics for Mother's Day. So
that's so nice.
Comic fan.
I wish my mom doesn't get it, but she and I love books, and it's partly because of her. My parents, both of them, all that like as a treat we would go to Books A Million in town.
Love that.
And I am reliving my childhood now by doing that constantly, to the detriment of my wallet, but with the support of my lovely partner, who's like, "Yeah, let's go." And I'm like, "Am I taking too long?" He's like, "No, you're here to enjoy yourself. Did you want to look over that shelf? You're gonna look at that shelf." I'm like,
that's lovely. Do you still have a Books A Million there?
No.
Oh.
I went to one in like Nashville area.
Yeah. We were just in Nashville and we went to one too. It was very nice.
Yeah, we've got the other ones.
That was also like my childhood bookstore.
Yeah, and it feels good, right?
Yeah, in my hometown, it's also gone now, so it's kind of a bummer. But
yeah, it just there's nothing like it. Just feels, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's healing my inner child because I went so long without doing that again. After my father had passed, so it's nice to go back and I'm doing that again.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm leaning heavy into it.
Love that for you.
Anyways,
that's self-care is what that is.
That is self-care. Me buying books, reading books.
Love that.
Self-care for me. Mm-hmm, it feels good to do, I don't know, now have a good mix of comics and novels, which is great.
Yeah.
And perfect timing for us to talk about which books we wish had comic book adaptations. Do you want to start it off or me start it off?
I will, because I have to just mention that one of my all-time picks for this, before it existed in real life, would have been Tegan and Sarah's High School, which has the cover where you can see Maddie now. Shiny, weird cover. And Junior High's coming out this month by Tilly Walden. So it already happened for me.
You willed it into existence.
That must have been it. And I'm very thrilled.
So I have a lot, I think. But my number one, ever since I read it, is the one I've been trying to push on a lot of people, is Iron Widow. I'm obsessed with this book. I have been obsessed with this book. It's because I in my academic life, my academic career, studied Chinese history. This is a retelling of the first Chinese empress, but it's fantasy and it's reimagined. And there's mechs and there's a love triangle, but not like a love triangle competitively, like a everybody's in on it together love triangle, little poly happiness, disability representation, and the main character, she is a lot, and she is unapologetically kind of just for herself. Like it's nice to see a female main character that like doesn't act according to how she's been socialized. She feels like she's rough around the edges, and she does some stuff, and she will kill people, and like, and she's her. Yes, Mech is a good. I'm going to show you a second. Oh, Alex, definitely, because I think it'll help because of the Chinese pronunciation of everything. I listened to the audiobook, I really liked it, and I finally bought a physical copy. And I was telling Kristan before the show that I'm glad I waited, because the new paperback includes pictures of all the mechs, because it was hard for me to imagine what each of them looked like. The only thing that can make this better is if they were on color, because I would love to see that. But it's really cool. Yeah, it's mechs as in they pilot mechs, and then you have two people in a suit. So it's like if you combine Chinese history with like more of like a kind of Pacific Rim, because you have two people in the suit and they have to balance each other. But instead of saying like the two minds and how they meld, it's like a yin and yang situation with like the male energy and the female energy, and how one can't overpower the other. So it's like a symbol of patriarchy as well. It's so good, and it should be a comic book. It would work so well,
because then you can actually see in full color.
I want to see them.
Yeah.
I want to see what it's like when they're in the suits. I want to see what it's like when they're fighting. She does a great job of explaining it in here, because that's difficult. But I want to see it happen, because they transform to the different levels as you like grow in your power and stuff and your chi. And I want full color. That's why I say comic instead of manga, because I want a full color treatment of this.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Movie. Give it a movie.
One day. Well, who would I be if I didn't include this on my list?
Let's go.
Just, of course.
I thought about it.
Doesn't care.
I thought about it.
And now Astrid Parker doesn't fail. And I'm sure the next one of the Brightfall series. Listen, I just want more of it in some way.
Yeah.
So I think seeing a nice, like, cozy kind of cozy kind of romance. Sorry.
Can you imagine if they made it a mystery? I would die.
Hold on, that should be the follow-up series. She should do a whole mystery at the same time.
Someone tell her.
Ashley here and Blake, where you at?
Could you imagine our faves in this cozy romance, small town, also a mystery?
Please. How great would it? You know what?
If she doesn't write it, we have to write it. I guess.
Honestly, the best fan fiction of all time. Like, that needs to happen now. But you know what? Maybe it should continue as a mystery in comic book form.
Ooh.
There we go.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. I just want it all.
Who would you want to do the art?
I think Tilly Walden, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be great. If I can pick anybody.
Oh man, yeah.
Or Fiona Staples would be great.
Fiona Staples would be good. There's a man. I can see a picture in my head of someone I'm thinking of, but it's not quite connecting. I'll think about it later. It'll hit me later, and it'll be like middle of the night. And I'll be like, yeah, be good. Yeah, nice little cozy. Speaking of cozy, Legends and Lattes is a perfect. Yeah. So people at home, Legends and Lattes is it kind of like it started this trend of cozy fantasy. So it is like this cozy fantasy trend that's happening in a lot of books, like Legend Lattes, is basically like some form of like used to be in a D&D kind of party and a sort of deal, and has like settled down, opened up a shop. pretty much this is what happens. This is happening a lot of them. Like, oh gosh, the other one. There's another one that I have that I like, but I don't have with me because I let a friend borrow it.
Tea Treason, maybe something.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. It's longer than that, but yeah. But that's another one. Like they open up a bookstore / tea shop, and this one it's an orc who used to be like more of the barbarian, big fighter of the party, who's done this for years and finally settled down. She wants to run a coffee shop. Coffee's not popular where she is located, but she met some gnomes on her adventures that make coffee, and it made her so happy and calm that she wanted to bring it to like a local populace. Of course, she runs into all these issues and things. This very cute succubus ends up working for her, and they have a relationship. And this is so cozy and wonderful, and it would be such a great just like first, second read. Because there's enough that happens in here that it would fill up the book well, but you could also it could be more of like Tea Dragon Society level of comfort, where there's a plot, there's story in there, but like there's also just all the little things. And I want coffee recipes. I want coffee recipes in here.
Can we have Kay O'Neill do the art?
Oh my God, Kay O'Neill, please.
How great.
Could you imagine?
How great. I still haven't read it, but I mean, it sounds perfect.
You will, and you'll love it. I'm not worried about it. I know it'll happen.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, Maddie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then you'll read that Treason Tea one that I also forgot the name of, and you'll be like, oh, Maddie.
Tea is for treason? Is that?
Maybe. No? I'm reading the sequel right now, A Pirate's Life for Tea. And that one's really cute.
I'm Googling it. Yeah. No, that's not it. Is that it? I don't know.
If I look up cozy fantasy, it's going to pop up right away.
Yeah, there you go.
That one would also work well. I just have lent it to a friend. Why did it not come up right away? I don't understand. I wrote cozy fantasy. That should be they keep recommending this other one I did not like as much. Wow, for real?
Oh, we'll figure it out. You'll think of The Artist in the middle of the night and that book, and then you'll text me, and I'll be like, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped scrolling.
You go ahead. I'm just going to look at my orders on Amazon.
Okay. This is one that I read many, many years ago, but it's still in my head as one of my favorites. Stephen King's The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which is about a girl getting lost in the woods. I think seeing visually what she goes through.
I have it. Can I tell you real quick?
Yes.
It's Can't Spell Treason Without Tea.
Okay.
A cozy fantasy steeped with love.
Oh,
get the pun. Anyways, please go ahead.
Yes, so this is about a little girl who gets lost in the woods, and I think visually seeing that would be really interesting. And it has like a kind of thriller-y aspect because you're like, is she gonna die? Like, that's kind of the whole thing. But yeah, I think visually seeing this would be really, really well done in a comic form.
Ooh.
So I would like to see them.
Since you said that, I'll go into my horror recommendation for this. I meant to save a photo. I don't own this physically. I think I will eventually. But Horror Store, add some umlauts in there.
Grady Hendrix,
yeah, the book by Grady Hendrix that is like. It's based on IKEA. So it's based on like a fictional IKEA. The book is even, it is written out and illustrated as if it were in an IKEA. So like the different chapters and pictures and things are like written out in the same style you would see in IKEA. And basically they get stuck in this IKEA and it's almost like it's like a weird, like liminal space sort of horror where there's something going on in the store and it's like you're getting lost. And I think that would add itself very well to comic book form. Because then you get to really explore the hallways with them and see how they just go on forever. You get stuck and the arrows aren't leading you where they're supposed to do. It's like if you were in an IKEA and you thought, what if I was stuck in this IKEA and I could never leave? And that's Horror Store. Because you have these these workers in it, but they're overnight. I think it'd be perfect.
It's a good pick.
I'll be back home for my first day on your job. Congrats,
Bar.
It went well.
That's awesome. A horror book that I actually have, but I couldn't find real quick before the show. But I've mentioned it before. Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca, which is a novella that really just is wild. It's just to visually see everything that happens in this, I think would work really well. There is a lot of like messaging too. And I think more and more these days, like when I see like text messaging or something in comics, it's really well done.
Yeah.
When I do see that happen. So I think that could be visually depicted really well, as well as just like the things these women are experiencing and the really grotesque nature that it goes to would be a really cool horror comic.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see that.
Yes. It's kind of crazy. I love horror books, but I've never read a Stephen King book. I haven't either.
Never? None?
No.
Wow.
I've just watched a lot of Stephen King movies.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I've always been scared because I hear horror stories about some of them. And I'm like, ugh. And so it's a hard sell. But I've only recently started digging into like horror novels, really. Like, I read a lot of horror comics. I love horror as a genre, but I never read a lot of like horror novels until like Grady Hendrix. So,
Maddie, I know you're talking about getting a Kindle. I want one of your first Kindle reads to be this Eric LaRocca novella because I think you'll love it. I think you'll have a good time with it. I mean, it's kind of grotesque, but like you like it.
Oh, I'll like it.
I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, whenever I get my Kindle, which I'll
feel nice.
I'll have a little party on Twitter. I'll be like, send me a recommendation.
100%.
And I'll show you how I decorate it because that's all I've been thinking about. Treat myself. Okay, other things I've got. So I'm gonna do a 2-for-1 basically, but basically anything Elizabeth Lim does, I think would be good as a comic book. I think she's great. I love any East Asian YA fantasy. I love it a lot. I love any retellings of things. Spin the Dawn. It's like a retelling Mulan kind of, where her father is like an accomplished tailor, not seamstress, tailor, and she's out of all of his like children, she's the one who's the best. And like 2 of his sons died. There's only 1 living, and he's been injured from the war. And the king approached him like, I need you to come be the king's tailor. And he's like, I am old. I can't do that. So she pretends to be a brother and goes there. And she's been given these really special scissors from her grandmother that end up being like magic and everything else. So there's this big epic. It's not concluded in here. I need to buy the next book. But it's only $6.99, by the way, right now. So there's like a romance in there. There's like she has to quest over the world to make this impossible garment and do these kind of impossible things while also learning about herself. I loved it. And then, of course, I loved 6 Crimson Crayons. The sequel's out now, too. And this is another one where, like, her evil stepmother sends her and her brothers away, turns her brothers into cranes, and makes it so that she's just a princess, has to wear this, like, big old bowl on her head so no one recognizes her. And she can't take it off. And so she has to, like, save herself and her brothers and save the kingdom, all while having all this against her, while also being hunted. Very good. Also great little... It's like, they're both like fairy tales. And I think like and I would say a lot of people could do it, of course. But it would be hard for me not to say Marjorie Liu and Sonata Kida as a team. If I, like, my dream would be like, it'd be them. It'd be them doing this.
That would be cool.
Just because I feel like they've got such a good grasp on, like, East Asian fantasy, how that looks. And of course, I would want other people, but, like, if you were, like, gun to my head, choose your first one, I'd be like, that's the team that I want. Even though I know they can't do everything. They're busy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, though.
On horror comics, Maddie put Dark Red Volume 1 on your list, the best horror comic I've read so far this year. Okay. Haven't heard of that. Stephen King books can be hit or miss. Like when they hit, they really... Wait. Like when they hit, they really miss? Is that what you meant to say? Oh, here we go. Like when they hit, they really hit. But when they miss, they are so bad. And there's ones that seem to hit and then throw in a child orgy. And then you think, what the fuck? That's what I'm worried about.
Messed up, yeah.
I've been blindsided too much this year by books. And I don't want it to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, I have... Yeah, it's a big yikes. I know you've experienced a lot of that.
Yeah.
I have it, but I'm scared to read it now.
Why put that in there? Just how about you make a new one? Fix it. I guess it's not worth it because people be like, local. I'm sorry, but inappropriate child relationships, I don't need to have in a book.
It's big yikes.
Weird.
Big yikes. Yeah. Well, anyway, not Stephen King. This is absolutely probably my favorite duology I've read of all time, which is the Carl series by Hank Green, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor. Maddie, you're gonna love them.
I know I will.
You are going to love them. I am 100% convinced.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's great sci-fi things happening in this, and to visually see it depicted in comic, I think would be amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and say I want Dan Moore on art.
Okay.
And it would be awesome. So yeah, would love to see this.
Okay, so I only have a couple more, and I don't own them. First is Gideon the Ninth. I mean, it's a fantastic book. You know, you got necromancers in space. You got a big competition. I think it would do very well as a comic book. It just visually seeing people move the bones and stuff. It'll be a little grotesque, but I think it would be visually stunning. And whoever does it, I want it to be done very artsy. Like I want it to feel like there's texture on the pages. Like there's not, but I want it to feel as if there are. Now, here's my selfish reason for doing it. That was the rational reason. My irrational reason is that I just want to know who is who. And I really feel like if somebody made a comic book for it, I'll remember. I want it on the pages so I don't forget what everyone looks like, because I know what Gideon looks like and I know what Harrowhark looks like. I do not remember anybody else. I don't remember what. I cannot put a face to any names. I need them to fix that for me so that Maddie, it'll make it easier.
I want to read this, but I know I'm gonna have the same issue you're having.
You'll be fine with the first book, but then you just can't. Here's what you have to do. When you read the first one, you have to go immediately to the second and immediately to the third. You can't do what I did and read Gideon and be like, oh my god, I loved it, and then wait forever to read Harrow because you're booked.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
And I've been in this stalemate for 6 months, and I'm just got to reread Gideon.
Yeah, see, a lot of series scare me for that reason. Like, I want to wait until it's all out.
Yeah.
And then dive in if I want to read it, because I'm going to have to keep going, or else I will forget stuff.
Oh, and that's why I'm stuck on the sequel to Jasmine Throne, because I wait a little too long in between. And so remembering who people are is difficult, especially when there's just so many characters, because they're really good. It's so worth it. But man, if you forget, that's why I feel like every book, like I know they don't do it because they want everybody they want you to imagine people for yourselves, right? You got to always include a glossary of who's who, which I know Gideon does. And honestly, give me pictures too. If you have this many, at least for like the main, if like here's people you're gonna see all the time. Like Ianthe Tridentarius. If I'm gonna see her all the time, I want you to I want a picture, so when I come back, I don't forget. And be like, here's her family, and here's how she looks different from them. I'm like, thanks for your visual guide. Just put it in there, and be like, hey, if you don't want this to affect how you look at people, don't look at this. But if you do, here you go.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it would sell like hotcakes, which is an expression I've never said out in real life.
Well,
now what hotcakes a little bit.
I was gonna say,
I
need breakfast.
Honestly, I kind of like McDonald's hotcake. I'm embarrassed myself a little bit, but like a childhood, I don't think it'll be good once I have it, but like I think being a
kid. McDonald's was my youth too, but I haven't had it since youth. I cannot.
I had a papaw that would go to, that's grandpa here.
Yeah.
He would go get coffee with the other old men at McDonald's every morning. I thought that was
really cute. Yeah. Love that. Well, I also have a list of things that I don't physically own now. Big Little Lies.
Oh, okay.
I know they came out with the TV show.
I like the TV show a lot.
I started to watch it. I need to go back to it, but I love the book, and I think to visually depict the mystery involved would be really cool. So, and it's all a big murder mystery.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to see that on the page.
I just thought of one I did not. Maybe it has a comic book. Series of Unfortunate Events. Does that have a comic book? Because it should.
Not that I know of.
Wouldn't that be so cool? But then I think you'd also make it half comic book, half pop-up book. It would need to be secrets. hidden within the book. I think that'd be really cool, especially if you stick to the illustration that was on like the covers of the original books.
That kind of art, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm still obsessed with that. I'm still obsessed with that series.
You know, I never actually read it, but
Wow.
Ruth loved it. Yeah,
Really?
I
You
know.
would love it.
I'm like, I've thought about going to it in my later years.
I think if you once you treat yourself, you'll really like it. I think the writing style you'll really enjoy. There's just something about it that is so satisfying and devastating, but also satisfying. Like it, those books meant so much to me. Oh, and the hardcovers are so beautiful because they have those pages where like they're different lengths or whatever.
Deckled edges, yeah. Yeah, I love a good deckled edge too. Some people hate deckled edges. I'm team deckled edges.
Man, also, I've been really into. I don't know if you've seen. People have been doing this a lot lately, where they like paint the edges of like their books.
Oh, okay.
And like, I cannot allow the ADHD me is like.
Oh yeah,
what if
I cannot.
Because I love the way they all look. I'm like, oh my god. But I know
when I buy them that way, beautiful. Yeah.
I should not be allowed to do that, but I want that. I do want to buy with the like stamp thing though, not like the stamp at the embosser. I want to do that to my Prose, like property of, or like from the library of.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You should do that,
right? Yeah. Not my comic books, obviously, never. But
no,
Prose.
I don't even know that it would work.
It would, kind of paper. And it would be bad.
Yeah. Okay. Was it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. I just mentioned it.
Yeah, it's you.
I'm so sorry. No Exit by Taylor Adams, which is one of my favorite thrillers I've ever read. Which is Maddie, you should read it. Apparently there was a movie adaptation that was not good. I did not watch it, but it was so good, so well done. It takes place.
It's on Kindle Unlimited.
Get it, girl? I'm telling you, get it. It takes place in like a snowstorm at a rest stop that people get.
Oh, I watched that.
Did you?
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, okay. Well, I kept hearing people say it's not worth it.
I mean, it's probably not. If you read the book before, maybe it's not as good. You know, I mean, I get it.
Love the book. Loved it so much. And
all right, so it's in my library.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
I thought about it. I don't think I want that. I think lighter, like, I mean, comic books can be anything, right? But I don't think a comic book would do it justice. One, because it would be long enough to really go into everything for her. I think it'd be a hard sell. So I think I am happy with that becoming a movie, a TV show, a miniseries, or whatever. I don't think I want it as a comic book. As much as I'd love to see art of those beautiful ladies, I don't think so. Green Arrow. And I'll probably pick up Wonder Woman because I'm dying to see the stuff, even though they are like, here's another daughter for her, and that's a big thing on Twitter. They're like, we don't need one. And I'm like, I agree, we don't need one, but she just looks cool. Whatever, I'm fine. Always giving Wonder Woman daughter. This is her fourth one, apparently, according to Twitter.
Wow.
Named her Trinity.
I just got the first issue of The Great British Bump Off, which is the new John Allison series.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to read that. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, that's perfect for you.
Yeah. And of course, Peacemaker by me, Kyle Starks.
Our friend. I need a series of unfortunate events comic, but also a comic of the prequel series. That would be cool. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
So my last one, because I just couldn't think of other ones. And now I'm hungry. So I'm thinking about that. So, Uglies. I already forgot who wrote this. Scott Westerfield. So this book was one of my, these new covers are ugly. Who did that?
Goes with the title.
Oh, God. Why do people do that? Just leave it illustrated. What are you doing? Anyways,
messed up.
I will judge a book by its cover, and I do not regret that. There are books I will not read.
Well, of course. Of course.
And now that I'm reading romance books, it's it's tough out here for me because they're all ugly. Anyways, it's a book series by Scott Westerfield. It's a YA series. I've always wanted to be a movie series. It was one of those like it's post-apocalyptic sort of deal. And I was always surprised that it didn't get picked up when all the other ones did. Like Hunger Games and the other ones. What are the other ones?
Yeah,
The other ones.
Divergent, things like that.
The ones, typical
Yeah.
main character is like, I don't know, 16, she's got brown hair. She's mousy, but not really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The typical trope. But
Mhm.
Uglies I always thought would be really good because the world is really interesting in itself. But basically, like in this world, you live outside the city until you're like a certain age. And then you move into the city itself, and you were expected to augment yourself to look your ideal way. Hence the Uglies. So it's called it's Uglies, Pretties, and Specials. And so when she enters the city, you see all this crazy stuff. It's very cyberpunk. Like some people have like large anime eyes, some people are doing this other stuff, and I just want to see it. Maybe that's why I didn't pick it up because it would be very expensive to make this, I think. But I think it would look really cool just to see a full color. Of course, there ends up being like an insurrection. There's like a resistance, and it's not all everything's a mean of controlling people, and there's always going to be the lesser than on the side. A typical YA fantasy series is what this is. But I always loved it. I think it'd be really cool to have.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah. Hayden says, surprised no one's done a comic adaptation of Agatha Christie's Poirot and modernize it like Dynamite's Bond. Well, don't give it to Dynamite.
Yeah, don't do that.
I guess I think that'd be really cool. There's some books that I'm like, man, if they brought it to comic books, if someone decided to adapt it, they would give it to the wrong artist and they would give it to the wrong writer. And that's what I worry about, because some of them do. Like, they get up and you're like, oh, who did this?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's yikes.
Like when we got that one really good Nancy Drew, and then we got no more good Nancy Drew. I don't understand. You gave us this perfect Nancy Drew that I was like, I'm going to read everything. That was it. I was like, okay.
That was like so good. It was so good.
I'm still mad about it.
Yeah.
And they made a whole other one. I haven't read it yet, but it doesn't look the same.
Yeah, who wants to read it?
It's false promises. There are certain publishers out there that I feel like just trick us.
Yeah.
Like, we'll make 2 comics that girls are really like.
Mm-hmm.
And then we trick them. And you know the one. Just for disappointment. They're like, and then we'll say girls like us. Like, well, 75% of your stuff sucks. Like, it is so male gazy, but not in a way that's like fun for me.
I totally agree.
Not to dog on it too much. Anyways.
Yeah, I have a few more here. Eliza and Her Monsters, which is a YA book about a girl who does webcomics. So to actually see that would be really cool. And another one kind of along that line is Kiss Her Once for Me, which is a romance set during Christmas. But again, there's a webcomic element that I just have to read about. And I'm like, how great would it be if I could see the webcomic? So I'd love to see that as well. Radio Silence by Alice Oseman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that has a podcast. Yeah, that has a podcast element. So I think actually that would be like a good. Well, did I listen to it? No, I think I read it. I'm sure the audiobook's great, but I would like to visually still because there's art that also goes along with it. It's not just an audio podcast. It's like there's a visual element.
Yeah.
So to see that depicted would be great as well. That's kind of it. I think I think a lot of thrillers would be great, kind of horror comics or like thriller-y comics. But yeah, that's what popped in my head.
That's perfect. I would like to do this again too and pick a different, I don't know, movies and do movie one, do a show one. You could do a video game one, even though you haven't played as many. We bring another video game person on. Still good.
Yeah, even like the show. I have so many shows that I would love to continue
Gilmore
in
Girls.
Comics. Yeah, continue in comics. Make it. Yes. Oh, Gilmore Girls would be so great.
Could you imagine how good that would be?
So good, so good.
Yeah, just like a slice of life Gilmore Girls. Give me Gilmore.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna ruin it. We're gonna ruin it before you even got a chance to talk about the show.
100%.
Oh, Degrassi. There's no way it doesn't have a comic. It's gotta have some shitty comics.
It probably does. Yeah.
Be perfect. Well, man, I thought I had other comic related stuff to talk about. We're talking about Tombs next.
Yes.
We're talking about on a Wednesday because this time, well, not this time, next week, it'll be on your way home. But next weekend, the Comic Slayer's coming to visit me. Woo!
Yay!
I told Elliot, I was like, I want to put up new board game shelves before you get here. So we're redoing the downstairs because I wanted. We were already planning to do it, and I was like, I wanted to come over and feel impressed.
I'm already impressed. Don't worry.
It looks like a wreck down there, so
I'm excited.
I'm excited that this will motivate me to clean all week. So that's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to plan what food we might possibly eat.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
You should get some bubble tea at that place you talked about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be
We'll
great.
do that.
But yeah, so it'll be this Wednesday. We're talking about Tombs.
Yep. So. And that's by Genji Ito.
Yes.
I have it right here.
Oh, look at you. How great is that spine? Mine just came in the other day. Such a cool spine. Yeah, I like it.
Yep. And this is another this is another anthology. You can't go wrong. I mean, you can go wrong once. Everything else is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's a year of 2 Genji Itos. Oh gosh, I was with my niece a few weeks ago. She mentioned when to read No Longer Human. I was like, no.
Oh
no. She's like, well, I can really handle some dark stuff. I just want to know. I was like, that's fine, but listen, I love everything else, but I thought that was hot garbage. I was like, I love and support you. I don't want to yuck your yums of you trying it, right? Because you just want to know. You want to be a completionist.
Did you end up getting rid of yours?
I don't remember if I have or not.
Oh, I did. I was just like, I wanted a complete Ito collection, but at the same time, I was like, I don't want that hot garbage. I need room for something better,
Well, you can't see it, but Kristan has that room is covered in bookshelves.
It's true.
And I have a basement, which eventually I'll do a room reveal video and put it on near mint condition, but that is also covered in bookshelves. Mm-hmm. So that's where it goes. I sold some too. So
yeah, same.
A lot of it sits up here until I put it away. I do get a lot of stuff from the library.
Yep.
But yeah, everything basically exists downstairs. The Prose books will go in my office. So they're just books all over my house. Yeah,
that's pretty much what's happening here. But yeah, I get rid of a ton too. If I read it and I think I'm not going to read it again, even stuff I've loved, I'm getting rid of it. I just don't have room and I don't want to keep it. And, there have been when I read Ducks, I was like, I'm never going to read this again. I thought it was great. So I got rid of that book. I gave it 5 stars and then I got rid of it. I was like, don't need to ever. It's
so crazy that there's things like this exist like that. When I watched Guardians 3, I was like, I loved this. I will never watch this again. And I thought about Ducks, I loved it. No.
Yeah.
What's what Eddie Gein done? Mm-hmm. I will never read that again. I thought it was great. Same. It's 5 out of 5. I will not touch it.
I feel exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah, part of it just I like having bookshelves of things that I might read again, but also things that I wanted people to read.
Yeah, totally.
But it is fun kind of going through and curating it.
I agree. I think more people need to embrace that. You don't have to keep everything you've ever read, Who has room for that? I sure don't. So
yeah,
I have a Second and Charles box in the other room of just stuff that I'm like, I read this, I didn't love it, or I thought it was fine. So it's getting rid of it.
Yeah. That's rough. Time to consolidate. Or be creative on shelving.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Go up the wall.
Yeah. Or get I don't know, other types of shelves or something. Yeah, that's all that's happened in life. I've been playing Jedi Survivor, which is fun because it's just little Star Wars things you get to see in there. And we're investigating a High Republic related thing, so that's really cool. Elliot just got Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda. And so watching that is fun. And just watching Yellow Jackets and Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, which eventually someone else will watch.
Eventually.
It just gives me a little queer joy in the middle of my week. Every Thursday, first thing I do, I show up into my office and I watch that for an hour and then I do get my work done.
That's
It's the
awesome.
best. And Friday's for Yellow Jackets. So in the morning, go to my office, which isn't here on Fridays.
Mhm.
I watch Yellow Jackets and then get my work done.
Awesome.
I agree and don't agree. Want to have full runs, but also thinking, will I ever reread Hickman Marble Run? Maybe Time to Sell? Yeah, I'm never going to read that.
Did William sell it?
We're the people that ask about Hick Vengers.
No, we're not.
God.
Yeah.
No time for pretentious dribble. You know?
I mean, I think there's something to be said about like if you read a whole run of something and you love it so much and you're like, I don't think I'll reread it, but you want to keep it because you loved it so much. I mean, okay, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
But that can't be everything, right? No. Like, that's certainly not for me. I have a lot of opinions.
Yeah, we're dogging it too hard. It's okay if you like it. That was it's a jokingly.
Yeah, you love it, want to keep it, go for it. I can't be the person to keep it all, for sure. I'd have to buy another house.
Yeah.
Nobody got money for that.
Yeah, and we want to have a kid. I'm like, oh God, we're gonna put
right? Yeah.
I'm already looking into like in the years down the line, I want to build a shed office. So at least that stuff could go somewhere. Because like
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. A little she they call them a she shed. I think it's stupid.
Oh yeah.
But like that's basically I want a little like off a little stone path that goes up to it, but still has like electricity in it, you know.
That would be super cute.
Yeah. My little cottage.
Yeah, love that.
Well, him, it fits his brand. And he's a collector. It's a problem. Mm-hmm. He does sell stuff though from time to time. Well, can I selfishly ask that we end early because I got really hungry.
I'm also hungry. So yeah. But in 15 minutes, you guys should check out my channel for a comic your mom should read. Yay.
Do it. All right. Hope you have a good Sunday. We'll see you all Wednesday. And you'll see Kristan not live in 15 minutes.
That's all right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Check out InStockTrades.com.